This is the New Eden update for Thursday, April 7th, 2016. I'm Wiggles and here's a roundup of a few stories from around New Eden. We start today with a post at Crossing Zebras titled An Injection of Skill. Skill injectors carry many dangers with them, especially for the newer generation of players who are more used to pay-to-win games. The first and most obvious danger is the fact that skill injectors are essentially allowing you to pay for instant access to content. In EVE, where you have permanent loss, this can be pretty punishing. Certain stuff like PvP skill is best learned from the bottom up. Skipping the basics of the foundations of PvP knowledge is not going to end well. Now, the golden rule to follow here is never inject above your experience as a player. Maxed out skills will never make you win fights with ships you don't have any experience with. For people who are coming from another game into EVE, another common mistake is to think that the more expensive things are always better. On the extreme, you have the purple officer modules that should not be fitted to any sub-capitals in the writer's opinion. So, the problem here is that you can take out your Megathron, but lack the knowledge of what every other ship in the game can do to you, and this will end badly. Should you use them as a new guy? Personally, the writer thinks that this can be effectively use of skill injectors in the game early, but you must keep in mind that EVE is bigger and not always better and more expensive, and certainty isn't either. On the other hand, using skill injectors to build up a foundation of solid frigate skills is a positive example. Doing so can be advantageous, but do not fall into the mindset that maxed out is better, because the costs can stack up very quickly, especially once you're into the diminishing return levels of skill points. That was written on Crossing Zebras by Gorski Carr. Next we go to the Matani.com with a post about the mapping tool Siggy. For those not familiar with living in wormhole space, your connections change on a daily basis. Therefore, to an organisation living in a wormhole, and an external mapping tool keeping track of all the connections between various wormholes is not just nice, it's required. These tools are the lifeline of a W Space Corporation and provide a plethora of critical information, including pilots online, signed in, and what ships they were flying, their connections, and the mapping signatures in each hull. Now, Siggy is one of the most popular mapping tools used by many wormhole corporations on an space subscription model, and it was the tool of choice for hull violence. Now, some of you might have possibly potentially heard that some tiny kerfuffle is occurring in EVE Online right now. While the drums of war beat in K-Space, or known space, HV was more busy celebrating the loss of Clay Halakari from its ranks. Unfortunately, their celebration was short-lived, as HV's access to Siggy was mysteriously lost in the last week of March, inconveniencing HV members for a few days. No others have reported outages with Siggy, however. Now, what follows in this piece is an interview with the CEO of HV, and you can go and read it on thematani.com, but I will say the following. If another player makes a tool, EveMon, EFT, Python, anything like that, they don't have to give you access to it, ever, because they made it. No, they can do. If they don't, it's a dick move. But this is EVE. And EVE, as we all know, is not fair. Remember that. Lastly, I'm going to say thank you to everyone who had the patience with me over the last week and the show, because we didn't do one on Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday, and it's Thursday now. There's a reason for this: real life. Real life kicked me in the chops, and well, that's what happens. It's busy at the end of the month for me, coupled with the fact that I did injure my foot last week and it kicked back again this week, so it's been hurting a lot. I'm aiming to get the show back to every weekday from next week, hence doing one today. Elsewhere, any related content so far today, lots of new blog posts over the last week and new podcasts. I would recommend, however, you go and listening to last Friday's Talking in Stations by Matterall. Very good interviews with Sion Kumitomo from the Imperium, and also I Want ISK from I Want ISK. You can find all of these over at TotalEve.com. Now a look at the markets quickly. Plex prices in the Forge region are registering an average traded price today of 1,039,000,000 ISK so far, which is down 21 million ISK from yesterday's closing average of 1,060,000,000 ISK. The top buy order in Jita right now is 1,032,000,000, and sell orders are starting just under 1,040,000,000. Skill Extractors are trading at 245 million, which is down 1 million from yesterday's closing average of 246 million. Buy orders for those are starting at 237, with sell orders are starting at 241. Skill Injectors are trading at 637 million ISK so far today, which is up 4 million from yesterday's average of 633, starting at 637 on the buy orders and 640 on the sell orders. Thank you to everyone who had chosen to support this show via Patreon and decided they get a little bit of value from it and want to give a little bit back. You can go to patreon.com/wiggles to find out about how you can support the show monetarily via there. So if you do have a spare $1 or £1 a month that you could give to us, please do. It helps fund things that I have to pay for, like bandwidth and stuff like that. Still going to do it regardless anyway. Now, I understand everyone can support via Patreon. Fair enough. You know what you can do? Tell people about the show. I know it's not been as regular in the last few days. I apologise for that, but we're still trying to keep it out there. But also, tell people about TotalEve.com, the sister site. Everything helps. Just word of mouth is the best advertising ever. So, newedenupdate.com/support gives you all the ways that you can help support the show. And as we do now broadcast live on Twitch and YouTube, and while it's been recorded for the podcast, so I do that and I want to get some feedback. Feedback at newedenupdate.com is the email address, or you can leave a comment in the show blog at newedenupdate.com, or you can send us a tweet at New Eden Update on the Twitters. I'm also on the TweetFleet Slack, just WigglesGRN, you'll find me around there somewhere. I also encourage you, as I said before, go to TotalEve.com. You can check out all the latest headlines, blog posts, podcasts, information, dev posts, Reddit posts, Twitch streamers, live, everything you can find over there, TotalEve.com. Now, this has been the New Eden Update for Thursday, April 7th, 2016. We will be back tomorrow. I have been Wiggles, and thank you very much for listening or watching.